Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It's early Sunday morning on March 10th, 2024. I'm going to cover one of my favorite scans in this video. It's called the continuation, or these are called the continuation scans. I have both end of day and intraday, and these scans are to locate stocks that have a great deal of momentum and are continuing on. So always remember the market is your teacher. And once again, I'm going to just read a couple of sentences here. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you're not using the software, you should give it a try. Just go to highgrowthstock.com. You'll find a link. You can have a 30-day free trial without entering a credit card or making a commitment at the end of the 30 days like so many of these sites do. So it's free. Give it a try. There is a learning curve, no doubt about it, but it's the most powerful software out there, in my opinion. Before I show you the scans that I want to feature this time, this is my newsletter. This is what the PDF looks like. This is a Word version of it. But I want to point out that I'm going to be sending this out to both trial users and Insider Club members, and it's going to contain links to the playlist of my video series on creating watch lists, the playlist of the new series on VPA and Wyckoff indicators, and all of my playlists. So these will be linked from the email. But if you want to get to the PDF file which contains all this information, you need to log into the site under your help menu and go to your member services, and then go to Ron Brown's Investing Club, and you'll find a download to the last 3 newsletters. There's no need to download the prior newsletters because what I've done for a few years now is I just put all the links in the current newsletter. So if you download the most recent newsletter, you're going to have links to all of my videos and so on over the last several years. So once again, to find that, locate that, you go to your help menu and go to your member services, and this comes up. You won't have these top ones. You'll have a link to my Insider Club, and it'll download the PDF, and you can use that as a reference. And that PDF always contains a link to the latest files. Now I'm going to bring that back up one more time. And this link right here, for all you newbies or trial members, when you install HCSI, you've got a set of my older files. I'm always working on my files and trying to improve them. So if you want the complete list, what you do is you download the add-on and install it. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now, because I miss a lot of emails. They go into my spam folder and so on. Then people are asking me questions. Why don't I have the same files you have? But I just don't see a lot of those emails. So I'm going to show you how to do it right now. When you install, or after you install the software, you need to click on this download link, and I'll bring that up one more time. I should have left it up here. This link right here will be in the email that I send out to all subscribers and to trial members. And you have to download the file by clicking on this, saving the file to your computer, and then you install the add-on. But before you do that, the best way to make sure that you have what I have is to have the software open up your warehouse views, click on the Choose Create view, and I have the miniature or the small toolbar. If you want the regular toolbar, you just click on that, and now you can see how much larger the icons are, but they just take up screen space. So go under the preferences again, use small toolbar. Anyway, once this is open, You can see I have a lot of files here, and I've been classifying over the past few weeks favorite daily and intraday scans, and there's duplicates in both of these because I have both end of day and intraday, and I'm going to try to make that a little bit better in the future. But you're under the Choose Create Warehouse view, which is, if you put your mouse over it, you'll see that. Just bring this up and just delete these views. And you can do the same thing with the charts if you want to. This is a chart I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to delete these two. And then, after that, all you do is you download that add-on file from the link, and then you go to the preference menu, you install add-ons, you locate the zip file that's downloaded, click on open, and it'll take a few minutes to update the files. So I'm importing them now. And the reason I have you delete them is because several people over the years have had all kinds of installations of my stuff on there, which is not even relevant. They have kept everything, and it's just too confusing. I've got enough files as it is, and you don't need that old stuff on there because they're mostly duplicates and a lot of things that I don't use anymore. Anyway, what this does is it's rebuilding this. I'm going to pause this for a few seconds while it finishes. Okay, it takes a few minutes to install because I've got a lot of files. I'm going to click on OK, and now if I open up my warehouse view, click on this, you can see that this is what my computer looks like. I have deleted everything else on here, like Gil Morales and Jeffrey Scott and so on. I've got them on another computer, but on my primary computer, I'm just working with mine. So that's why you don't see anything else in here. Anyway, I have my favorite daily prospecting scans and intraday, and like I said, there's a duplication in here, and I'll try to integrate these together in the next few weeks. But my inventory is down here in my top-down process scans. This is everything. And then from this list, what I've done is I've dragged my favorites up into these two folders. Now, I'm not going to do a market report. There's plenty of market reports out there, and we really don't know what the market's going to do for sure. The momentum is still up, no question about that, but there was a reversal in NVIDIA on Friday, and it may have gone into a climax run. It may not have. It's still getting hype, so some people see this as a buying opportunity for NVIDIA. Okay, now let me show you what I have here. I'm going to go into, first of all, I want to bring up the designer. And I want to bring up a chart. I'm going to just I'm going to go to my top-down charts, and I'm just going to go to a basic chart first. I'll use white today rather than black. This chart contains all of the features, all of the signals and so on that I'm going to be using explaining this. So getting back to the quick pick and going to my continuation up scans, I'm going to click on the continuation indicator, and then I'm going to explain to you why I call it this. You can see there's 272 securities in here. Now, what I've done is I've also created a user smart group, or user smart groups for these, and you'll find them right here under my continuation filters. If I click on this, here's bullish and bearish. You can see the smart group If you go up here and look at the top, there's 272 securities. Let me just bring this up so I can point this out. 272 securities here, 272 here with the filter. So this filter in this view is used to create the continuation group. Okay. Now, bring this up. Just get rid of the quick pick for now, sort on raw combo. And you can see that using my Wyckoff indicators, volume on these is very high, widespread, high close, and so on, especially those at the top because I'm using what I call one of my demand combos. And let's take a look at the filter. I can explain this to you, how this works. So these, I'm going to bring that arrow back up. These two fields right here, percent volume divided by the greatest previous 5-day down volume and 10-day down volume. This is a formula for Gil Morales and Chris Katcher's pocket pivots. Now, the pocket pivots are designed really to find stocks that are seeing a big increase in volume and coming out of a low point. But what I've done is I've taken their filters and I've created this continuation filter because I'm looking for stocks that are seeing big volume spikes on the way up. So if either one of these conditions or both of these conditions happen, you're going to get a blue bar on the chart, and I'll point that out in a minute. Or if there is a VPA flag that equals effort up, sometimes there will be an effort up bar and the criteria for the pocket pivots are not met. So that's why I put this in there. Last close $1, trading at $1 or more. 90-day moving average volume is greater than or equal to 100,000 shares. We use 90-day moving average because the VPA signals are based upon that. Days since the 3 crossed the 6 is greater than 0, and days since the 6 crossed the 18 is greater than 0. These are exponential moving averages. The days since the volume point of control, 1010, is greater than or equal to 0. The percent close is greater than the open, and these have to be in a group. The group rank greater than 0 makes sure that they're assigned to a group. So that's a continuation filter. Now I'm going to show you on the chart. I need to get out of here. I'm going to bring this back down, and I'm going to bring up the top stock, and let's bring that filter back up so I can point this out. Okay, now we use this arrow, get this out of the way. So the first one, percent volume divided by the greatest previous 5 or 10-day volume, will generate a blue bar. You can see that. Look how heavy this volume is here. It's clearly higher than any 5 or 10-day down volume. So here's a down volume bar right here on this spike down. But this volume bar within the 10-day range, it looks like, is greater than this down volume. So it's generated a blue bar. But look at all these other blue bars which were generated along the way. This is where the continuation signal has occurred. This is why I put this together, because what we're looking for these crossover days where the 3 is crossing the 6, and especially if there is a volume spike the same day. It looks like the continuation occurred one day after that. But these two items right here generate the blue bar. Or is there a effort up flag? And in this instance, if this blue bar were not here, this effort up, this would still be showing up as a continuation stock because there is an effort up bar here. It's hidden behind the symbol. I can't show you right now, but that's what it is. That blue dot is effort up. And the last close, all these other criteria, the days since the 3 crossed the 6, we know that it's positive because this histogram is positive. Days since the 6 crossed the 18 is greater than 0. That happened clear back here. So when this run began, 3 crossed the 6, a day later the 6 crossed the 18, the volume point of control is green, so it is positive, and we know it's in a group, and the close is greater than the open. Close compared to the open. So all these criteria are met, and this is what the continuation filter does. Now, I'm not going to do the downside continuation filter because it's just the opposite, and I don't want this video to get too long. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this, and we're going to look at a few more of these. MicroStrategy, Bitcoin related stock. If it meets the criteria, which it does, of course. This has an effort to rise. You can see that right here. But there's no blue bar, so this is a good example. There's no blue bar here because look at this heavy volume here on the continuation on these stocks when it was moving up. But this volume did not surpass this down volume day here. So, and we're looking back 5 and or 10 days, and you can see this is not greater than this, and this is why I put the effort to rise in as a continuation signal also, in addition to the pocket pivots. Now ideally, we like to catch these things when they're moving up, but that's what these columns are for right here. You can see that these are old signals. This is days since the 3 crossed the 6. This is days since the volume point of control went positive. I don't have the days since the 6 and 18 crossed, but you can see them clearly on these charts. Now, if I go down to Smith & Wesson brands, I'm not interested in gun stocks, but this is showing that both of these turned positive on Friday. And here's an effort to rise. Here's the volume pocket pivot. This must have been earnings. Look at this long base, and it closed near the high. So this counts as a continuation move up. It generated the continuation move on the prior day, but this dwarfs it. Let's see if I can move this over and get rid of that. So on this day before earnings, you can see that there was a pocket pivot based upon this, and then it shot up. Now nobody knows it's going to move like that on earnings, but let's look for another. I'm going to sort on this. These are the older stocks. Okay, so I'm sorted. You can see all of these zeros and 01s and so on. These are the fresher stocks. I'm looking for something. How about CECO? That's a name I know. Okay, so this is earnings. And then here's an inside day, another inside day to this candle. And then here's an effort up. But once again, there's no pocket pivot here because of this being dwarfed by this down volume day. You can see how useful this effort up is with the pocket pivots are excluded. But look at all these other days where there were pocket pivots. Okay. Now I'm going to take you somewhere else here to some other charts. I think you probably have an idea of what this does by now, but I'm going to go into, if you go down to the UNR for undercut and rally and visual backtest charts, you're going to find charts down here that show are really affiliated with what I'm doing here on the continuation of demand or supply. There's three here. These are called visual filter backtests because when the conditions are met, it generates bars on the chart. Now, where it says number 8, 9, and 9 say uses filter from the warehouse view. Here's up and here's down. So when the conditions from these green bars are generated, when the conditions are met from the filter, and it's the same filter on this scan, so when all these conditions are met, there's going to be a green bar. And what this allows you to do is to look at this, and I'll use, here's a biotech stock. I know nothing about these. Green bars are all bars where the conditions for my continuation filter were met. So here's a buy-in point here. Here's another one here. And if you are just looking for crossovers, well, here's another one right here too. If you're just looking for crossovers, and those are the safest places to buy, but if you miss it, there are all these continuation bars on these charts. Let's just take another one here. Here's a medical or a marine stock. These were demand days, and then it fell off. But if I go down to the negative, no, that's not right. Forget that. I have to be doing the continuation down to get this chart to work properly. Forget about that. Say chart number 8, and you can see that it went down and now it's setting up. That's not a good example. Let's do this. Let's sort on the raw combo and bring the strongest ones to the top. And let's look at Dicom Industries. And here you can see all of these continuation signals on this stock. A lot of crossovers too, but once the stock starts moving, there are these continuation filters. Now this is a chart. These use filters from the warehouse view. But if you want to use any other or look at any other stock, what I've done is I've tied the or integrated the visual filter backtest into the or attached them to the chart, so you can look at any stock. Now this contains the crossovers to the downside. That's what the red bars are, or the continuation bars. But what you can do is you can look at any stock. So let's look at NVDA. And what this shows is the continuation of NVIDIA after the crossover. Look at all the blue bars down here and the efforts to rise and so on. You can see the 6 is clearly above the 18 and the 3 is above the 6 most of the time. And on these little VPOC pullbacks, these are rose rather than green. So that's that chart. Let's go to the next chart. Now this one contains the dark bars are the crossovers to the upside and to the downside, and then the light green bars are the continuation bars. Let's try a different stock. Let's put Meta in here. And you can see here's a crossover on Meta. These are all continuation signals right here on this stock. And I have one more here. Okay, here it is right here. And this doesn't have the crossovers on it, and it doesn't have any moving averages. So if you just want to look at a relatively clean chart with these filters or the continuation bars on them. So these 3, 5, 6, and 7, you can analyze any stock for continuation. This one has the crossovers. This one doesn't. These are not crossover bars. These are just showing when conditions are met to the continuation to the downside. So that's pretty much it, but I want to show you what else you can do with this. I'm in my continuation indicator in all securities. If you go to this continuation group, user smart group, and click through to the warehouse, notice that it is now down here in this window. Now this gives you the opportunity to use other scans on the smart group. So if I want to go to my money flow in, end of day, there's 272 that were in here, and now when I put the money flow in, these are showing up now in my money flow smart group. So that cuts it down to 121 stocks. Let's just bring this up, and you can see that money was clearly flowing in to this stock on Friday. That's just one example. I'm going to get rid of this. Let's say that you want undercut and rally. You want to look for stocks that are setting up, but none are setting up with this continuation filter because these stocks are all continuing. But if you want to see the recent crossovers, you look at number 2 here. The fan is up, the 3 has crossed the 6 within a 2-day window. So this is going to show you those stocks that are in the continuation smart group that have crossed over the past couple of days. And there you go. So you can really cut this down. And if you want to, I'll show you one more that you can do if you want to look at, go down into my main stocks under the top-down process scans. And if you're looking for, let's say, stocks with a 40% EPS increase and the relative strength, both for HCSI and Kirkpatrick, are above 80. You click on that. You can see these are high relative strength stocks. You can click on these. I'm also in my continuation smart group, and you can see here's a stock that had a big move up, sold off on earnings, and look at the pocket pivot coming. I call it pocket pivot. It's not true pocket pivot, but as I said, I've modified it for this and coming back into this. Let's look at another one. Look at these continuation bars here. This is why I put this together. If you miss the crossovers, if they're not too extended, you can still jump on these stocks. That's why I call them continuation. Let's look at Robinhood. Look at Robinhood. The crossover was, bring this up here. Crossover was here. You can see it here. And then continuation, and then a big volume. This is a red bar because the close is lower than the open. But huge volume, and that is on earnings, I assume. So you just interpret this. Yes, there's a negative EPA flag, but it held the gap. And then there's these other continuation bars here. So you can see it works pretty well. And I'm going to do one more and call it good. How about Royal Caribbean Cruises? Let's see what it looks like. Well, there are a lot of good signals in through this run right here, and then chop, and it couldn't get past resistance, and now it's trying to move up. Not a great example, but still it works. The filter works. So anyway, I've gone on long enough on this. I do want to say that when I send the notice out to trial users and to subscribers, these playlists of mine are linked in here. This is a video series on creating a watch list. This is VPA and Wyckoff indicators, and this is all my playlists. This information will be in the email that goes out. You can find my playlists if you go to YouTube, uh, under this will bring up all of my playlists for people that are not either trial users or subscribers. If you just want to look at my videos, they're under this YouTube at Ron Brown, R Brown LNK /playlists. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week with the reversal on Friday. At some point, this run has to end, but I'm just an observer. I don't make market predictions. Thank you for listening, and have a good Sunday and the rest of the week.